There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
You know, for being one of the newer kids on the block, especially in the sound dampening category, Soundshield has garnered such a huge following, especially among some of the top fabricators in the business. Today, we've got CEO John Schwartz in the studio with us today to go over the entire line and to remind you why Soundshield should definitely be in your shop. This is CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM, Soundshield, and it starts now. Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to another CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. And on today's show, we are still in the wiring and accessories category, and we're talking about sound editing. So when we talk about sound editing, really, there's not that many players, and Soundshield certainly is one of the major ones on the field. Maybe not the oldest brand in the category, but certainly one that has garnered so much following, especially if you're following social media and whatnot. So before we dive in and talk about all the specifics when it comes to Soundshield, let's go ahead and welcome our very first guest to the show. His name is Jaron, and he is from BB Distribution, the Canadian exclusive distributor for Soundshield products.
How's it going today, Ben?
Hey, Jaron, what's going on? It's a fun day. We get to talk about a fun brand, Soundshield, of course. And, the first question I had for you, Jaron, BB Distribution, you guys got a wide array, but you also have pretty much, the access to whatever brand you want as far as, sound editing goes, but you chose specifically to partner up with John and the Soundshield brand. I'd like to hear some of the reasons behind that strategy.
Well, as you kind of touched on earlier, it's one of definitely the new kids on the block for sound deadening, but John's been around in the industry. He's one of the big players in the industry by far. And even being a new company, new on the block, he's always developing, trying to make things better, coming out with new products, new solutions for installers. And he's really a install-based sound editing company. This really helps out the installer on the install end and just brings that sound system in that vehicle up to the next level.
Well, I can say this for sure. I happen to know John a little bit better now, and the guy's a shop owner, right? He was born and bred in the shop. So when he says that he understands the needs and the intricate details when it comes to developing product, I mean, like I said, the guy runs an amazing shop up in Alaska, and we're going to hear all about it today. What are you looking forward to most today? We got a pretty stacked house for this show.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to all the uses for Soundshields. Maybe some of the out-of-the-box thoughts that some of the guys on the show will have on how to use some of that sound deadener and all the different products that John has to offer for different solutions.
Amazing. Well, looks like we need John to come on to tell us about some of these solutions. So without further ado, you know what? Before we bring John on, why don't we set the mood, Jaron? Because Soundshield, you have to understand, is a company that has incredible product, great networking, but also really great materials to help communicate, the quality of what they offer, but also at what level they operate at. So we have a video that we want to play, and it'll give you an overview of the type of products that Soundshield offers. And when we come back, we're going to get Mr. CEO himself on here to kind of expand that for us. So let's roll the tape. Well, there you have it. Without any further ado, I'd love to welcome to the studio once again the CEO of Soundshield, reporting live from his home base in Alaska, Mr. John Schwartz.
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I guess it's morning for me, not for anybody else.
You're pretty far over there west, man. Thanks for joining us today, John.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I'm literally at my home base at my home.
That's amazing. That's amazing. John, let's get right into it. Obviously, the product is known throughout, especially the fabricator community. You know, you've done such an amazing job networking, and I know you're super proud of what you've done with Soundshield in such a short time. So I think I want to start with that, John. Can you express, your sentiments towards how proud you are when it comes to this brand that you've created?
Man, I tell you, it's been a week of gratefulness in my life. With my guy Rob, he won Sales Pro of the Year, and he's on the cover of the magazine. Came out yesterday. That was pretty exciting. But all these little things in our industry is amazing. It's my 32nd year in it, and I feel like 2010 kind of really put Perfectionist, my shop, on the map, and we got to meet a lot of the best guys in the industry. And anyway, I feel like the relationships are amazing. I feel like everything that we're doing, trying to promote each other's businesses. Like, I try to share everybody's stuff as much as I can on all of our social media pages. And I feel like, all of us are small businesses and communities, and we all just need that little extra push. So I feel like we're all basically, like scratching each other's back. And, when I started the company, literally I sent a roll to every one of my friends, and I felt like, man, I know the best guys in the country. What better way to get the business going than putting it in their hands instead of just cold calling people, And then I would put like a nickname on everybody's box that, that I knew. And they're like, hey, why is this guy John sending me something from Alaska? Crazy. And then, everybody started opening up boxes, but I would just, we were all laughing because it was just so random. But having that personal connection has definitely been a huge, moment for me.
I want to commend you on that. Like I said, I think you're being humble about it. I think many fabricators, technicians, and just people who are in the industry that are movers and shakers consider you not only a great friend, but a serious influencer within the industry and a mentor to many. And I know you're not the type to go ahead and say that, but I'm going to say it for you because I hear it all the time. And I think that speaks a lot to, what the brand represents. You've been on here before. We've spoken at length how important it is for you to get the feedback from the guys in the shops. And I want you to verbalize that for us so that everybody understands.
No, absolutely. So I don't know if a lot of people know, but I came from CompuStar is our brand. It started here in Alaska. So I was 22 when I started with CompuStar. I was the third guy hired there. And as we grew the company, the big thing that we were proud of was, made by installers. So my job in the beginning was to like rip this brain apart and take out all the crap that we didn't need and make it simple. And then we would literally have instant changes. Obviously we owned the factory and everything. So I wanted to have that same philosophy with my own company. And so essentially anything that we did, I was like, that's a great idea. Let's make a change. So we could make a change in the line, like the next batch would be a change, And then I fly to the factory and I have a great relationship with them. And we're just really quick at being able to do that because our business is quick. Technology doubles every 6 months and we have to be able to keep up with that. And even though I don't have any electrical parts, but it's still technology, the manufacturing of it, the materials that go into it. So yeah, I feel like, if I'm in the shop and we have this weird issue, like, this just doesn't make sense. I always think that in business, the first rule is be your own customer. And if it's complicated or things don't work out, then if it's complicated for us and it doesn't work, how's it going to be for the end user, So I've even shipped myself packages to make sure that experience is what I want it to be when you get the box. I try to think of all these different things of like, what is this little detail, as a store owner, I tell a lot of store owners, stop walking in the back door, walk in your showroom like a customer does and take a look at it, see what's going to be, be your own customer at that point. Walk and use your customer.
Be your own mystery shopper.
Absolutely. And I even call my shop sometimes. I want to hear how they answer, like, hey, good morning, Perfectionist. I'm like,
you're that kind of boss. I see.
Yeah. I'll just randomly call it. Just like, I just want to hear how your voice sounded on the phone, So.
Very good. All right. John, we got a lot to cover today. We got some special guests I'm not going to spoil, but, definitely stick around. John's going to do a full presentation on the product. And obviously we've got some fab guys that are going to kind of give us some testimonial Rainford and John. Actually, no, John's not going to be on the screen. I want to hear what these guys really have to say. And then we'll kind of come back together and talk about it. So without further ado, why don't you give us an overview of what we're going to learn today, John?
Okay, well, we're basically going to go over our current product line. We actually just got our new product in the warehouse. So this is going to be like kind of the official announcement, which is pretty exciting. I get to share with you guys. It's so new that I didn't even get one. And so we just got a picture of it. So it's I'm going to get it pretty soon here. My guy's shipping like everything today. We were like, BB, you guys are getting all your stuff today too. So it's exciting for everybody.
Beauty.
Yeah, so we have some new stuff. We got some, same stuff, and then we got some future stuff happening. So,
and we're going to cover all that right now. Great. Well, I'll tell you what. Jared and I will go away. We're going to leave you the stage. We'll bring up your presentation, and we are ready to learn. It's all yours, sir.
Okay. All right, boss. Okay, so obviously, Soundshield. This is my company. Get into a little bit of who we are and what we are. Oops. Okay, so here we go. So basically, I just wanted to kind of, I don't want to read everything to you guys, but in a nutshell, Soundshield was formed in 2019 by me and Brian Schmidt of Mobile Solutions. Everybody knows Mr. Schmidt, big brother to everybody. Basically, in a nutshell, what happened was I had another company and I decided to leave the other company, and Brian kept, kind of picking on me and stuff. So we just basically forced myself to do it, and me and him started the company in 2019, and we actually launched the brand in Dallas, the Dallas Knowledge Fest, and so it was pretty exciting. We were proud to bring something, and what I wanted to do was, since I was coming at it again, I flew to the factory, and basically I knew all the weaknesses of my old brand, and we rebuilt it. So in manufacturing, you have just like your guys' stores, you have best, better, good. And it's the same thing for the materials that go into the final product. So at that level, we basically decided everything is going to be the best tier stuff. So, the best rubber, the best foam, best glue. So we created a new glue. It's called a pressure sensitive adhesive. So if any of you guys have used it, it's pretty amazing how well it, you can basically create your template. And then when you kind of touch it on the door, it'll kind of give you a little bit, and then you can move it around. And once you can move with it, and you push that thing down to the metal, it just absolutely adheres to the metal. So one thing I want to, multiple avenues with Soundshield is that, we want to make it exciting, So I put on here, I've been in it since 2015. And I feel like at that time when I started pushing and posting, nobody was talking about sound deadening. And really, it's crazy because sound deadening is I feel like one of the most important things you can do to your vehicle, or in any application. As sales, it gives you a great tool. You get a lot of people that come in, and they first thing they say is, "Hey, I want new speakers." But how many times you guys give them new speakers, but then it doesn't really sound that good, So, and what we try to do in that is like, hey, let's change the environment. Let's change the environment. Go in there, let's sound deaden his door, and a couple of things happen, right? Client doesn't know what you're talking about, but then you go in there and you start showing them these things, and they get this difference. As soon as they close the door, it's instant gratification. So from the client, and then they drive down the street and the car's quieter, obviously, right? But think about this for lawyers, for real estate guys, different kind of people that are always on their phone. They might not even want audio. They're just trying to have this communication while they're in the vehicle. Or guys that are working very stressful jobs, they want it to be kind of quiet, to decompress in the car. A lot of us stereo guys, man, you get off of work, first thing you do is turn on the audio and just drive a little extra, take the long way home, So anyway, by creating this excitement, by sharing a lot of all the top installers in the country and other countries on top of that, it kind of helps to create a network that I don't have access to because, so say this guy like Nick, for example, my friend Nick and John out of Arizona, Handcrafted, they have their own circle of people, or someone like Tom Miller in Portland with Musicar, they have a circle. And I feel like, hey, if these guys say this is good stuff, then that gives us, a good stamp of approval. So I feel like if the best guys in the country are using it, man, everybody needs to use it. Anyway, so that's basically kind of, not what I wrote, but I wanted, you guys probably read it. So we'll get into it. All right, so next slide here. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of the basic family that we've had since the inception. Well, not true since inception, but our original one that we started back in 2019, and then we grew. We've tried to add products every year. So we go right into our SSD one, which most of you guys will see on price lists, or some guys will reference that. But this is our original material. This is about 90%, 90% of what we sell. This is our 3-layer material. Yeah, you can see it's 20 inches by 79, so it covers 11 square feet. Like I say, if you go from the bottom up, we got the pressure sensitive adhesive, we got our butyl rubber, we got our foil core, and then we have our closed cell acoustic foam. Now, I know that a lot of people, there's multiple brands doing this now, and I feel like, in 15 when I started it, there wasn't really anybody doing it. There was only one other company that kind of had something, and then it was all right. It wasn't amazing, and I felt like, okay, we learned a lot. So one thing about it that's unique, and you'll see in some install pictures or different thing, is I feel like, okay, what I talk about being your own customer, right? Think about this experience you're creating for your client. Okay, so all of us know you got to have the showroom amazing, you got to have the bay amazing, but think about it in the install process when you build an amazing enclosure and we're doing these braces and routering and doing all this amazing stuff. And then how many times before you put the lid on did we call the customer and say, hey, man, you need to come check out this enclosure. It's incredible. But as soon as I put the lid on, you'll never see it. So I feel like with sound deadening is the same situation, to where when we get these logos all going a certain way and we get it just super dialed in and people working on getting the seams correct and all these things, man, that's a terrific time to call your client and say, hey, man, we got stage 1 done. Before we lay any wires or put the carpet or anything back in, why don't you come down and take a look? And again, we're building trust with the client, and they'll see, wow, look at the attention to detail in this. I mean, every single hole is perfect. Everything is lined up. That's a great way to show your clients how your attention to detail is. So again, Pro is this is the original. This is, everything. I feel like this material is amazing. It works on so many different applications. And don't think of it just as audio, think of it again like we're lowering the noise floor. That closed cell acoustic foam is so important. And I want to say that this was created out of a need in my shop, right? What happened was I was using another brand, and the same like everybody, the butyl and the foil. And what happened is when we put the car back together, if you realize, a lot of guys get excited about, oh, we got thicker foil, it's so much stronger and blah, blah, blah. But realistically, we're moving that rubber and the metal thing closer to whatever's rattling. So you get some tapping and things. And so anyway, I had a client where we literally had to do their car twice, and because we sold them, hey, we're going to get it quiet, but it kept having this tinginess to it. So, in that situation, what do most guys do? They'll add the foam or spray glue and all this stuff, but I don't get to charge the client multiple times for that. So we had to think of something different. So part of the solution was just like, okay, let's make an all-in-one. And then honestly, in my shop, we use it, and I was like, God, this stuff's awesome. And if I love it, then man, why wouldn't everybody else love it? And it was accessible, and that was a big thing. So anyway, so the next product we have is our Slim. So Slim is real cool, Slim is basically designed for upholstery guys mainly. So you can see here, basically we give it 2 sheets. It's the same length of 20 by 79, but we chop it in half for you, because generally Slim, you're going to put in like an inner door, where like you could do like an inner door with Slim and then do the Pro on top of it. Or, use Slim on the inner door and then use Pro on the outside door before you put the door panel back on. So Slim's whole MO, I guess you would say, would be that Slim is definitely designed for just to attack resonance. Okay, so we have resonance and we have like trying to fight the noise. So with our original product, the closed cell foam, that's going to be absorption, right? So that's going to absorb road noise. It kind of gets rid of all the other stuff. Whereas and then we're still fighting the resonance with the butyl. So this gives you like a dense, real thin layer. And like I said, all our upholstery shops, this is what that was made for. So there's no foil, there's no nothing. It's just a pure, beautiful butyl rubber. Has the same logos, looks really clean. This is a great product. We use a lot of this as well. And then this one is a fun one here. So this one, Rapid, is really cool. So Rapid is our sound deadening tape. This was basically kind of designed in collaboration with Mark at Car Audio Fab. So what we did with this is, in one of the next video that we'll watch, you'll see actually Mark doing an install. And a lot of times, when we're in the trunk, we're like laying everything in beautifully and stuff, and you still have your harnesses. So a lot of us old installers, we sometimes if something's big, you wrap it in carpet or something and do electrical tape around it and kind of tuck it up somewhere. And we were just kind of joking around like, man, we should take our closed cell foam and make a tape out of it, and then we could wrap it. And then the funny thing, we'd like, oh, you can wrap it and you can strap it. So you could wrap it up with our closed cell foam, and then take strips, and then literally it adheres to itself. So it's really cool. So anyway, it's 2 inches. So you got a 2 inch wide, and then we made it 15 foot long. You get 2 rolls in a tube. So in my shop, we like to use this as like a shop part. You just add it on to, any kind of custom install, absolutely. So the cool thing with Rapid is that, man, literally endless uses. I've had guys where they're building the tweeter cell plates, and they're fiberglassing them and stuff. And, you just got this little buzz, but you can't really get sound deadening in there because it's kind of thick. So now you can put this Rapid in there and literally hit a corner or something. And now you have like a seal that's going to help just that's so thin that you need, but it's, the density of it, because it's foam, works really well. I was saying in our last thing with Ben that with you guys, sponsored by Sirius, a lot of guys have Sirius. We don't have that in Alaska, but we do install them for people leaving. And, you got the Sirius box, or you got some box that goes behind the dash. Again, old school guys, will put carpet or something on it, kind of tuck it in the dash. Well, now you can wrap it up with Rapid. Now you have that closed cell foam, and then you can put it against the bracket or brace that's hit it. Now you got 2 pieces that are foam against foam now. Up in Alaska, obviously, we do a lot of remote starts. Sometimes, these cars are getting tighter, and it doesn't matter how many zip ties you put on it, the brain's still going to rattle some way. So again, wrap the corner, wrap the brace. Now you eliminate that. I like to tell people, a lot of times we're doing amp racks behind the seat, right? The seat folds down. So you got your braces that are going across it. You're probably going to bolt your substrate to, right? So now at this point, you can wrap those braces. And now when you put whatever your substrate is, wood or, composite against that, now you have, again, that's acoustic foam, seal right between that's going to help eliminate any kind of resonance. It's thin, acrylic box, you're doing a box with an acrylic window. We used to use like the 3M double stick, but now you can wrap it on the edges, and then that plexi or acrylic will just sit real nice against it. And so, just a million uses for this stuff. You can use it to seam our, materials together. You can cover seams with it, So it's one of my favorite products. And like I said, that's something that we did with Cardio Fab and obviously Mobile Solutions. So we all played with. We used to have like a much thicker version and thinner version, but we think this 2-inch version is really, really nice. So if you haven't used it, it's more of an installer tool. You can charge it like a shop part because it's not very expensive, but amazing. Million uses. So let's see here now. Okay, so these are really cool. So these are our acrylic displays. So Brian, he makes these down in Tempe, and at his facility, he has like, every laser that Universal pretty much makes. And so he came up with these for us, and it's just awesome, right? Like, of course you have active displays, and then you have like non-active, but the cool thing with the tubes is they're bright, right? They're green. We love this color. It's the most visible color to the human eye. And so we thought, what's a cool way that we can get a small footprint, give you something that's active in the sense of being bright. So you can see that has the LED strips. So we usually use like a green or a yellow to highlight that. And man, people walk in the showroom and it's like instantly, what is that? It looks like a big battery, of course, or whatever. But the good thing for us is retailers or whatever is that, it starts a conversation, and that's what we need to do. It's like, customer walks in, it's the first date. You got one chance to make a first impression. So I always try to beat that into people, like walk through the front door, like I was saying, if you're a store owner, and get that full experience, and then think about what do you see. So obviously in our showrooms, we have this real estate that's available. So it takes a very small footprint. It's like, I think it's like 2x4, maybe a little bit bigger, give or take, but it's a small footprint. It's beautiful. So anyway, we make those to order. So sometimes if you guys get them, they take a little bit of time. Brian tries to knock them out as fast as he can, but he's always in full production. But these are really great. They look good. They're built really well. They're full acrylic. And out of all the ones we've shipped, I've only had one that actually broke. So I was pretty surprised, but we replaced it pretty quickly. So this is a great addition to your store. And then let's see here. Okay, so new products. So here we go. This is kind of what I was saying. So this is kind of exciting. It's exciting, and then you guys might laugh a little, but it's kind of I'm one of those guys. I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I look at all the details. So, when I see this beautifully done door and everything is beautiful and it has Soundshield and it's sexy, and then I see something else that kind of drives me crazy. So here is our new product. These are our new sound sealing speaker strips. So basically, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I know this, so don't pick on me too much. But I was, I like, again, I see these beautiful installs, and if I see another brand on it, I'm just like, oh, it drives me crazy. I feel like, you can't wear like a Nike shirt and then wear Reeboks, So anyway, so this is kind of my version of it. So we, again, use our closed cell acoustic foam. So you get 4 speaker pads that go behind us, one behind each speaker. It's going to absorb the back waves. And then you get 6 strips. Again, we're not innovating in the sense of recreating anything, but I do feel like we do have premium materials. So you're going to get that great pressure sensitive adhesive, which I feel like we're getting, known for, because most of the time when I talk to people, they're just like, yo, this stuff is so sticky. And that's what I want to hear. I had a guy, like he was in a door and something and stuck to his beard, and he like almost ripped his beard off. It was pretty hilarious. Anyway, so this is our new product. It's in the warehouse. It just landed literally, like on Friday. These are going to be cool. I feel like we got a bunch of them. I think you guys are going to love them. The packaging is amazing and very high end, like a jewelry box. I feel like if you show that to your customers, they're going to love it. So this is a pretty cool one. I'm pretty excited about this. I can't wait to get them in my hands in my shop. So I literally don't even have them yet. They're all in the warehouse. So and then this one, massive. So if any of you guys went to the MasterTech Expo in March, we had this humongous box at our shop, and it was a concept idea. So we're fine tuning it. So this is going to be literally a massive shop roll. And it is huge. It's a big box, and I've had guys over and over like, yo, we need a shop roll, we need this, we need that. And it's tough. There's a lot of things to think about when you create a shop roll. Obviously you want to stand out from the market. You got to have something kind of crazy, and massive was kind of like, okay, if we're going to do it, let's do something like maximum. And so you can see that there's a roll of original in front of it. So this is something that, like I said, I'm fine tuning. I'm hoping to have it here soon. It's just, we got to be, of course, underneath shipping, stipulations from all the companies and stuff. But, the cool thing about a shop roll, obviously, is it's like for retailers, again, if you sell an amp kit to somebody, then your guys aren't wasting wire, right? Because essentially the customer bought it all. And it's kind of the same principle compared to power wire, right? So if you have a big, my thing in the shop is like, I like the regular rolls myself, because like I said, the clients get an X amount. And then with massive being a shop roll, a lot of guys, they like to, be able to measure it out themselves or sell it a different way. Plus the other thing is you're going to get this much wider measurement. So instead of having to seam a door, now we can do big doors in one shot, cover the roof in one shot. I mean, we've been doing a ton of like Sprinter vans and things like that, and obviously a lot of area to cover. So this will be a pretty cool one. I hope to have this, I'd say soon, I'd say less than probably 3 months. I would say, like I said, just kind of fine tuning the box and the shipping size of everything. So that's kind of what's in our future there. Basically, one thing I think with Soundshield that I again, that being a shop owner and being in industry, literally, I started working on cars when I was 14, had my first job at a shop. And, there's a lot of brands that have a lot of products, and there's some guys that are just so technical, and they figure it out, man. This material's for this material's for this. Don't roll it this way. Don't put it in this way. But, at the end of the day, we're working shops. I can't tell you, if you come to my shop in Alaska, that it's going to be immaculate all the time. I mean, we're pretty good, but it's a working shop. Sometimes you walk in a wood shop and it's a bomb. A bomb went out there, sawdust everywhere, because we're moving. In the wintertime, my shop, we'll do 20 cars a day. There's just no way to keep things. So we want to keep the line very slim and focused, and that way we can keep quality perfect and as best as we can do on everything. And I feel like every single thing we use in my shop, and we don't have to have, 15 different SKUs for you to figure out what this material does, what this material does, and this size and that size. So we're just trying to keep everything simple and focused for you guys because we use it every day. It's not something that I don't want to do. I definitely want to create more stuff. I love input from my dealers. So if you guys have any input, please give me the input. I take pride in that we can make changes and do awesome things, and we want it to be fun. Really, at the end of the day, you guys are selling big systems. Sound deadening should be one of the easiest things. I love it as in sales because as an owner, I could get something that's a high profit item. I can sell a lot of shop time, and I don't have to have my head tech doing it. I can have, a helper guy do it or another guy do it, and he's a profitable guy now. And it's instant gratification, and it teaches them to take pride in their work and how they lay things out. So anyway, Soundshield, it's I feel like it's what I was saying about CompuStar. It goes back to design by installers. I'm a hardcore CompuStar guy, and it's not because of this or that. It's just because I was the third guy there, and that was like my baby. I mean, I walked out in the snow at 2 a.m, testing range, down the street with the boss, and we were trying to make this CompuStar amazing for you guys. And so with this company, it's the same philosophy. We just really want you guys to have an amazing experience. Get it in there, it works, move on to the next thing. Get that sound deadening in, wiring goes on top, whatever it is, then the carpet interior goes back in, and we make it simple. So we just want to be a simple functioning solution that makes you guys money. So oops, sorry about that. That was my timer. Anyway, so that's kind of everything we got going on. So I just, of course, want to thank everybody. And, if you guys tag us with these hashtags, or, man, send me any photos. I love to share your stuff. I do my best to do it. I have 4 companies, so I'm kind of crazy busy. But the reality is it's a family business, and I try to do as much as I can. Rob Kowach, who won Sales Pro of the Year, I brought him on as my national sales manager. So he's going to be reaching out to a lot of you guys. And, really, he's just there to help me out. I just wish I could do everything, but I just, between the sales and designing and working in all the other businesses, it's just getting tough for the old man. So anyway, so Rob's going
to say something hashtag something sexy inside.
Yeah, man. So you think about it, right? I love, whenever I do all the shows and different things, I'd always tell people, hey, man, you got to make love to your customers,
Gotcha.
Kind of joke around about it. But so something sexy inside, you think about it, right? Like the box comes to the people, to the retailers, and you got something sexy inside. Really, you pull the tubes out, they're sexy, right? And then you do the install. And the install, like I said, these guys put so much effort into getting the logos and the seams and everything beautiful that, man, I feel like, man, that's something sexy inside. Like, yo, hey, customer, come here, check this out. We got something sexy for you. How many times do we all talk like
John, brilliant presentation. I love the new product. We're definitely going to come back and talk about it, but I'm going to give you a quick break to catch your breath. You mentioned a video from Mark at CarFab. We're going to play that now so you guys can get a sense of, especially that rapid material. And when we come back, I got some special guests that I'm going to talk to, and then we'll circle back with you in a minute. Thanks, John.
Boss. Yes, sir. Thank you.
So earlier on in the show, where I was making mention how some of the top fabricators everywhere, pretty much, support Soundshield, and I see it in their install. So, what better way than to invite a couple of these guys to hear what they have to say with their personal experience with the product? Let me start first by somebody who's no stranger to our Canadian market, anyhow, and might I say, quite proud of this individual. Kind of won, a small little deal called Installer of the Year. You might have heard of him. His name is Marty Adamschek, fabricator from Audrey's Electronics. I'd like to welcome Marty to the show. What's going on, Marty?
Hey, Ben. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for taking the time today, man.
Not a problem.
So I'm sure I must have told you this already a million times, but congratulations for the accolade, needless to say.
Thank you very much.
And you being here is no surprise to me because I've obviously been following you for quite some time and seeing the installs. And, I can't even think of one that I haven't seen where you put down Soundshield. So I guess my first question to you is, what is your experience with the Soundshield product and how long have you been using it?
My experience with it is, it's a phenomenal product. You've got somebody representing the company that is amazing. Every time if I send John a picture, first thing he's like, "Hey, can I share this? I'm going to share this." I'm like, yeah. I've been using it since it initially came out. I've been doing this for 35 years now. I've used every single product in the market over time, and this is definitely our shop's go-to product now. We don't bring anything else in.
So your shop uniquely, exclusively uses this product. Now, that must mean from an installation standpoint, because you don't do sales, right, Marty? You're on the installation side.
No sales whatsoever.
So let's talk about that. When manipulating the material, when applying it to different surfaces, inside door, outside door, trunk, talk to us about the ease of use and why you like, or the features that you like about it.
I like the fact that once you put it on, it's on. It's not moving. We've all had products in the past where, you put it on and then the vehicle comes back, say a year or two down the road, and you pull the door panel off and it falls out. There's been very inferior product out there, and I think this product is far superior to everything else out there.
Okay. And you pretty much use it in every install that you do, I would imagine, pretty much at some capacity.
Yes.
Okay. We talked about added benefits about being part of that network, because there's quite the network, a little camaraderie amongst fabricators, right? That comes with the brand and the following that John has created. What are some of these added benefits? Can you mention a few of being part of that, I guess, Soundshield camp, I guess? I don't know. I'm not sure if there's a term for it, but you know what I mean.
I think the biggest benefit is, like I said, every time I talk to John almost daily. And, I always send him, if I'm working on something, I'll send him a picture. I say, "Hey, take a look at this." And he's like, "I'm sharing it." I'm like, "All right." When years ago, before I even thought about doing the Installer of the Year, he definitely helped get my name out there. And everything that I did, he would post, he would tag me in it. And he definitely helped me get my name into this industry.
Right. So it's not all talk. He does do what he says he does, and helping nurture and mentor and all that type of stuff. That's good to hear.
Yeah, even outside industry related stuff. We've had hours of personal conversations, and anything that I've needed, he's always been there, and he's been through stuff, and I've been there. So we've developed a very good friendship between him and both Robert. They're both stepped up, and they're amazing guys.
Amazing. All right, let's talk some tech talk, some install here. Let's go ahead and bring up some images of some jobs that you've done. I want you to kind of describe to us what we're looking at here and why you applied it or how you applied it, or details for the install.
This is a Dodge Ram, and this one here, we did the doors inside and out like we always do. You'll notice the green tape around the edges. I've always used that. It's kind of twofold. It gives me an idea of where I don't go past with my material, and then it also protects the vehicle, from any kind of pry tools.
Interesting. And that's something that you do pretty much with every install when it comes to doors, or everywhere?
Oh yeah, always.
Interesting. And when you do a door, do you always do inside and out? Is that what you recommend to the customer?
I definitely recommend it, and if it's in the budget, we definitely do it. Sometimes If it's not in the budget and somebody just wants one roll, then I'll just do what you see there.
Okay. Let's move on to the next vehicle or application.
That is a 1987 Mustang GT. We did a full system in, and that is front to back, side to side, top to bottom, everything done in that thing.
So you use, this is that popular material that John was talking about, the main material, was it the 4 or 5 ply? And you put that pretty much everywhere.
Everywhere.
Now,
as like John said, you look at the logos on it. I mean, yeah, it looks sexy.
It does look sexy inside. I got to give kudos to John where it is. And I mean, that's a picture that you send to the customer. The customer's like, yeah, I as a customer would be quite proud of that to show my friends.
Oh yeah, that job was actually for one of our store managers. So I drove the vehicle before and I drove it after. And I mean, we know these cars; they're loud cars.
I was just going to say, an '87 Mustang wasn't exactly built for a quiet interior.
No, and it's definitely made a drastic difference.
He must have been shocked when he closed the door for the first time.
Oh yeah, it's like closing a door in a brand new vehicle.
Right, for sure, 100%. Seeing the amount of coverage that's in that vehicle right there. All right. Oh, yeah. So floors, doors, trunk. I mean, pretty much you put that ish everywhere. Got it.
Everything. Yeah.
All right. Looks like another angle.
Yeah.
Like, how much material is that for a full job?
God, I'd say on that one there, we're probably
by roll. Maybe
11, 12 rolls.
Wow, 11, 12 rolls, eh? Like that's a lot of work.
Yeah. That was a full day of doing that.
Just the sound damping.
You're just prepping it, cleaning it, and rolling it on.
Beautiful. All right.
Yeah.
And last but not least,
I believe that is a Chevy Silverado. Same thing. We did, inside the doors, outside the doors.
Oh, you know what? That might be actually Nick's. I see Nick's on the floor. We have another guest. Okay, yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. All right. So, truth be told, you use the stuff on everything. You have a lot of experience and confidence using it. There's benefits to being part of the network and communicating with those involved in the brand, such as John and his entourage. I want you to hold that thought because we're going to bring you back at the end, and I want to talk to you and ask you about those new products that John just launched that you and I just saw for the first time. I didn't even see those yet until today. All right, so hang in there, and we're going to bring in our next guest. Thanks, Marty.
You bet.
So that was one of our top Canadian installers top installers, period, but he happens to be Canadian. We go to Arizona, and we have another special guest coming in. He kind of knows his way around the shop as well, and he is from a shop called Handcrafted Car Audio. This gentleman is the install manager. His name is Nick Edmonds.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, again, we'll save the new product talk to the end because I know you just learned about that the same time I did. But, you see Marty come on, and I guess my first question is, do you share similar experiences or does your experience contrast with the use of Soundshield products in your installs?
No, I definitely share the similar experience, and, I think Marty covered it really well. And, everything about John and everything about Soundshield, John just radiates that energy through his company.
Okay. Now, in your shop, unfortunately, I have never been to your shop. I imagine a lot of big jobs come through. Is Soundshield like the go-to, the only? Like, what's the scenario with that in your shop?
Yeah, Soundshield's a go-to for us, especially here in Arizona. It's 10 o'clock here, 9:45, and it's already 100 degrees. Mm. So Soundshield is the brand that sticks. It doesn't melt off the doors here. Our cars here get to 140, 150 degrees inside. And I've seen competitor stuff literally melt out of the door.
Wow.
So, and then also being close to Brian Schmidt, he is our distributor over there at Mobile Solutions. So,
yeah, he's not too far, right? And that's interesting because, Marty was up in Canada, so obviously a different climate, and you're like in the desert. So, again, the other extreme. Right. And from your experience, the stuff just sticks. Okay. When you're talking to customers about sound damping, like, is it something that you strongly recommend? Is it something that you mandatory must have? Like what is the philosophy behind the communication of the importance of sound dampening to the customer at the point of sale?
So in almost every one of our builds, we recommend it, and we'll build it into the invoice and show the customer, here's your benefit. And then we'll literally take them out to one of our cars, my personal vehicle or the owner of our company, John Covenants, and we'll do the knock test. That's the easiest way to demo it. You knock on the side of a door. Our doors are all sound deadened. It sounds like you're knocking on wood. You knock on a back panel that maybe hasn't been sound deadened, and you get that hollow sound, just like a tin can. So it's almost no brainer. Or like John said in the beginning, as soon as that customer closes the door, you instantly have that gratification, like, oh dang, like it just sounds like I closed a big wooden door.
Yeah, no doubt. And you're just echoing what I've heard already, and what I truly believe, that this is, sound deadening for me is a must. You're really not doing your customers any favors by not putting it on. They're spending big money on amplifiers and speakers and whatnot, and they're really not maximizing the performance or output out of these components without setting up the right foundation, for example.
Exactly.
Let's go ahead and put up some of your jobs. I want you to talk us through what you've done with it and your experience with the material, and kind of hear what characteristics of that material that you really appreciate.
Yeah, so this is a 2022 Chevy 3500, I believe, 25 or 3500. So inner outer skin. So if you look through the 6x9 hole to the left, you can see a little bit of the outer skin that was done, and then the big chunk that you're kind of seeing on the front, that's where the factory weather seal would be, and that's usually just a little like thin piece of plastic, basically just keep moisture out. And
that does nothing.
It does nothing. It just resonates.
Yeah.
The factory 6x9 just rattles that. So I take that off and then I lay that down. I'll trace it out and make a new one out of Soundshield and stick that up. Now you have a nice big solid chunk.
Do you do any templates for vehicles that seem to keep coming back?
Not really. I'll do a little bit of like measurements. I'll keep those in like a notepad. So like, these Chevys, we do quite a bit of Chevys, a lot of 4Runners. And so I actually have a little notebook of measurements. Like I know the outer skin is, we'll say 34 inches. So I know that I can just kind of cut a roll at 34 inches and then apply that as I need.
All right. Let's keep on going here.
And so this is actually a great example of, a customer that just wanted sound deadening. So this is the floor of a 2022 Toyota Supra, and the vehicle is super loud, like annoyingly loud for being a high-end vehicle in most cases. And he literally just wanted sound deadening. So we did the floor, the entire trunk area, inner and outer skins of the doors, and tried to quiet this vehicle down as much as can. And
now, in this case, Nick, the customer have any concerns for weight? Would they opt for the slim, or they just didn't care about the weight? They just wanted it more quiet.
He just wanted it quiet. So yeah, there was no weight concern there. This whole vehicle was, I think, 6 rolls to cover the entire floor, trunk area, and then both doors.
And again, to John's point, it's not just about the car audio, and here's a perfect example of that.
Exactly. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, you got this high-end car that the entire time you're driving around down the freeway, all you hear is just noise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't even enjoy the music. So
even from the factory standpoint, yeah, for sure.
Right,
gotcha.
from the factory standpoint, and that's all he wanted. He's like, I can't even hear anything.
Interesting.
So that's the outer skin of that same car, the Supra.
Brand new 2022 sports car, and can't hear a thing inside. Amazing.
Right. And as soon as we got it back together, he listened to the stereo. He's like, the stereo even sounds better. Like, it just made it that much more enjoyable of a car for him.
100%.
Yeah, and here you're looking at the Supra on the left. That's the trunk area floor. So battery, and then I actually took the subwoofer enclosure out, which is at the very front of that photo, and did everything underneath there. And then on the right side is the outer skin of that 2022 Chevy.
Before doing the insert skin. Got it. So you can see the full back. Right.
Yeah, and
All
I
right.
like take these pictures and show them to customers because it's one of those things like it's hard to show.
No, how can you, especially once the panel's back, right? I mean, you have to take
Right.
these pictures step for sure. And I recommend that to all dealers. If you're going to do that, take pictures of your work, guys. Like, seriously.
Right. Take pictures.
All
Take
right.
pride in what
Last
you do.
question before we get back to everybody else. Now that I've heard, you've heard what John has to say, you heard Marty has to say, why would you recommend Soundshield to other dealers tuning in?
Mainly, I mean, the community is huge, and the product. So between, obviously, with this new stuff coming out, that's just a game changer right there. But the product is fail-proof. Like, I've never had an issue with it. I've never had an issue getting it. And then just John himself as a person, like he said in the beginning, he's family. Like, I know if I have anything, I can call John 10 o'clock at night, midnight, and he's going to be there for me.
Amazing.
And I know he would extend that to anybody.
Well, there it is. There it is right there. All right. Well, I want to get into this new product that John just kind of dropped on us. So why don't we go ahead and bring Marty back, and we'll bring John back. We'll set us up here for a discussion, and we're going to talk about what we learned today and get everybody's opinion. So we had Marty Adamchuk on there. We got Nick Edmonds from Handcrafted from Arizona. And we're going to bring John back so that he can answer to this stuff that he dropped on us today. First of all, John, how does that make you feel hearing guys like Marty and Nick speak to Soundshield and yourself in such a light?
Oh man, I tell you, it's been a week of gratitude, and I just love everybody. I love the industry. A lot of us, I think, growing up in the industry. I had a manager a long time ago tell me, he said, if your relationship's not doing good, you must be killing it at work. And if you're killing it if your relationship's amazing, you must not be doing good at work. So it's hard to find that balance. So I feel like a lot of us growing up in the industry, we get lonely sometimes, and it's nice that we all have this camaraderie and we can reach out. Most of the time, half the time we talk to each other, we're all in the Bay or we're
even though you're tens
home.
of thousands of miles away and apart.
That's it, man. But we all got that same 12-volt energy, So I love it. I'm humbled and grateful for this amazing network that we have.
Nick, I'm going to start with you. John dropped some bombs on us. 2 new products. Let's start with the I didn't even catch the name. What was the name of the speaker rings?
It's a sexy name. It's called Soundshield Contour.
Contour. All right, Nick. What do you think of the Contour?
I think that's going to be great. I think that's going to be one of those products where you can hand that to your entry-level tech and give them a set of component speakers and just say, here you go. Make it look sexy.
How about you, Marty? What's your thoughts on the new Contour speaker treatments?
I can't wait for it to show up at my door.
Like, is that something that actually? Okay, so now I'm just going to be like devil's advocate here. I get it. You can have the strip, right? But does it actually do anything, John? That's my question.
Well, the idea of it is, anybody that's been in this industry literally forever, like me and Marty, of course, right? Think about it. If you look at the OEM stuff, right? A lot of things we're trying to do is upgrade OEM. But OEM, the idea of it is that we're coupling this, in a sense, the speaker to the door panel. So there's no loss of energy. And that's the idea. So essentially, we're trying to force this energy inside. We're trying to, insulate the door, change the environment, get this maximum energy inside. That's why we get, think about DSPs and all this. We're doing time alignment. We're doing all these things. But the theory, ideally, is that this gap that would be in this door panel, this energy is going to dissipate in a different way. So all we're trying to do is force energy into the car so the customer gets the ultimate experience.
Now, obviously, this product is meant to be coupled and complementary of having already sound shielded the entire door. And I noticed in that Contour kit, you have the thin piece, which I would imagine is to go around the speaker. Is that also to gasket between the speaker and the door as well, or is it meant to be only in the front?
Well, absolutely, yeah. Well, I wouldn't know. You wouldn't put it between the speaker and the door because you'd have that mounted to your substrate. Yeah, whatever your substrate. This is just all this is designed to go on the outer and couple to the door as much as we can.
Right. And the other piece that we saw, the square pieces, that's to go behind the driver, right? To eliminate standing bays on the door.
Exactly. Yeah, it goes right behind the driver. And the nice thing again, it's got the same amazing adhesive. You got the closed cell foam, so it's not going to absorb any water. It's waterproof. It's going to stick to itself. So after you treat the door and then you put that in there, they all complement each other at this point.
Amazing. And what was the timeline on that one, John?
It's here. It's in the warehouse. We're already everybody is gonna get samples. We're gonna
Get 'em
go
up.
grassroots, baby. We're gonna just start shipping them out to people, put them in their hands, and say, hey, try it out. Let me know what you think. So
Go Soundshield Contour dropped right here. All right, Marty. The other piece was the Massive. Is there a need, from your opinion, to order something like that for the shop, or what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I mean, we go through tons of it, so having a shop roll is very beneficial.
Okay, and what about you, Nick? Is that something that your shop would be interested in, or you kind of like building out a tube at a time?
No, I definitely agree with Marty on that. There's definitely a shop need for that. Even if you're just cutting off little 10-inch sections at a time, for even a remote start, I think is definitely handy.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to stay with you, Nick. The tape, that was kind of a new product for me that I learned about today. And John had brought up different examples of usage. Like you said, he brought up the example of the SXV 300 for Sirius, or let's say a car starter. How do you find the use of that product in your shop?
And I use the tape all the time, actually. I'll use that to on A-pillars where I can't get zip ties around, say, the harnesses up there. I'll cut little sections of tape and tape my microphones down the A-pillar. I'll use tape, it's got a nice black edge to it, so I'll use that to maybe fill a little gap if there's a gap around a radio kit. There's thousands of uses that I use every day.
How about you, Marty? What's your use of the tape?
Be same thing, that and securing wires, making everything look good.
I mean, for me, it's just that annoying noise eliminator with a quick fix, right?
Yep.
Like, I don't care how good you are, there's always going to be a spot that's got that little creak that you hear. It's going to bug the heck out of you until you find it, right? Because
a great place is a lot of people are getting into all the motorcycles now too. So I mean, when you're so tight in these fairings and things like that, man, and you can't get it, man. That the rapid, it just works so good in so many places,
I would imagine same would go for marine or for power sports applications too, where the
absolutely,
space,
yeah,
right? Space
absolutely.
Is tight. All right. I guess this last question is a little bit more geared towards you, John. You obviously have two really good installers here that use the product and have a lot of confidence with it. What advice do you have for the sales side of things to help improve their sales of this category within their shop? Because obviously you've coached many shops on this.
Yeah, the premise, I think the foundation for me as a retailer and as a manufacturer, a wholesaler, a distributor, everything, I got every role in the industry, is, again, it's that the end user, right? That's it. I mean, everything we do is for the end user, and we have to create this experience, and we have to think as a store owner, profitability wise. I mean, what do we have left in the industry that makes us money? We have remote start and we have sound deadening. I mean, ultimately remote start, because even if they buy it online, we own the data. They can't get the data to make anything work. So that protects us. As long as we're good and we don't give away passwords, the data, we own the data. So that gives us something. And then with sound deadening, like I say it over and over, you got a great item that's profitable, it works, it does its job. But then you can have the shop hand putting it in, and you don't have to have like your head fabricator who's building this $2,000 custom box. He doesn't have to stop and do the sound deadening. So it's something that creates profitability for every level of the shop, and it works really well. And then the end user, like Nick was saying, Marty was saying, man, you get in this car and it's just like, oh man, as soon as you close the door, you just know it's instant. You hadn't even turned the audio on yet. So it's like, man, like imagine I'm with the client. Wow, that sounds good, huh? Yeah, now let's turn the audio on.
Have you ever had an upset customer about regretting their decision to put sound editing in?
Never.
I've never heard such.
The only decision I've heard is, or regret would be, man, I wish I would have done this part.
Right.
Because ultimately, when are you ever going to have the car just stripped down?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I feel like every pickup truck, man, the roof is super important. I mean, you just got this thin piece of metal above your head. A lot of people don't think about that, but that wind is just on the top, and I feel like, man,
especially if there's a sunroof.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer to sound deadening. There's no argument that says it's a bad idea. It's like the foundation of everything.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time today. This is a great discussion. John, thank you for the presentation, for dropping some bombs on us with the new product. Best of luck with that. Nick, again, thank you for joining us. And Marty, again, thank you as well for your insight. And we look forward to connecting with you guys once again in the near future.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
care.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys.
So that was some heavyweights there, and John talking about how to maximize your sales, and of course the new products doesn't hurt. I'd like to finish this session by bringing back our Canadian distributor from BB Distribution, Jaron, and ask him some questions and kind of close this out from a Canadian perspective. Let's get Jaron back in the studio. Jaron?
Hey, Ben, how's it going?
Great presentation, great insight from some key, respected techs. Honestly, I don't know how much more you can add to that, but what I wanted to bring you back for is let's talk about those new products for a second. I mean, you've had kind of the staple product in the lineup for a while, some new product. I'd like to hear your thoughts on those two.
Definitely, the new products are just going to definitely add to the uses of Soundshield for the dealer, like that contour kit for the dealer for any speaker install. That's definitely an add-on for you're doing the doors wrapped in Soundshield. And like John said, it just bugged him seeing those other brands kind of popped beside his other one. So now you have the complete solution from one
Go
brand.
all in
One brand.
I'm going to ask you a silly question because I kind of know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyways. If I was a dealer and I watched this, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll give Soundshield a try. I'm going to call BB and order me some. What would you recommend they order?
For sure, staple SSD1, the Pro kit. Like that's a must-have. That's 90% of the business is that, right? The supplemental products definitely add to the whole lineup. Like you heard the guys talking about the use of Rapid and the use of Slim. Definitely helps bring it up to the next level. But for sure, like if you're wanting to try out Soundshield, order some rolls of SSD1, get it in your store, try it out. Do your own car if it's not sound deadened, and it's a perfect demo for the customer. Do the front door, even just closing that door and showing that customer like it proof is right in the sound of the door as you close it, right? That's one of the biggest things.
So order the mainstay pattern, use the stuff, try it. Final message to dealers to convince them to give you a call right now, what would that be?
It's in stock. The new products aren't in stock yet, but those will be here soon. And then, or just go all out and order some massive soon. But yeah,
get the display, get the demo. The acrylic display is nice.
Yes,
I like that too.
Beautiful displays for your showroom. But definitely get some rolls in your store. There's something sexy inside, and try it out.
There you go. SoundshieldUSA.com is the website if you want to find out all the specs for the product. I'm not even sure if the new product's up there yet. I'm sure it will be soon. And if you're a Canadian retailer tuning in, make sure you get a hold of the team at bbdistribution.ca. They will set you up with all your Soundshield needs. That I have no doubt. Jaron, thank you so much for your time today, sir.
Thank you, Ben.
Take care now. All right. Let's remind you to continue tuning into CMA Networks right through to June 29th. We are continuing down the path of mobile audio accessories. We got all different brands from all different types of categories within accessories. I know it's a broad category, but we have a lot to cover there. And we're doing that right through till June 29th. And if you haven't already, make sure you visit our redesigned website, cmanetworks.com, where you can find this video and many, many more in many different categories. Either search by brand, by category, or even hit up the profile of your favorite trainer. In this case, my man John Schwartz. He has his own profile on there, and you can see all the videos that we've done together thus far. That's it. Thanks for tuning into this CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
Yo, roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's last on Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?